It's been a year since Brave New World came out, and it still hasn't gained real recognition. So what happened? The budget was massive. Marvel knows how to use big budgets, and yet this time the formula didn't work. Why didn't this movie become an event? Kevin Feige said audience didn't accept the film because it's the first Captain America without Chris Evans. That sounds plausible, but is it really so simple?
I don't think so.
Evans was absolutely one of the driving forces of the MCU, but his story was already told across 3 solo films and several crossovers. It doesn't need a continuation. So let's run a thought experiment. Imagine Evans is in this movie. We will ignore the obvious Winter Soldier parallels. Instead, we will compare specific scenes and ask, would this movie actually work better with Evans in it? We will only touch on elements that works independently of the actor: fight choreography, plot structure, side characters, and the antagonist. That way, we can try to look at the movie objectively. Let's start with the fight scenes, because the movie is packed with them. And the first question is simple: why doesn't Cap take any damage? He gets stabbed, hit with an axe, and then he just walks it off like nothing happened. Here's his condition after facing Hulk. Now compare that to Cap after his fight with the Winter Soldier. In Brave New World he is not risking anything. So what exactly are we supposed to worry about when a guy can land without parachute, tank an axe in the ribs and stop a Hulk punch? If the hero can't lose, the audience can't care. Instead, you can't take him seriously anymore.
Superhero landing. She gonna do a superhero landing. Wait for it!
Whoops, take a step back.
Captain America used to operate within the rules of the universe. So what changed? Cap blocks a punch from Hulk. They were never properly matched before because the power gap was obvious. Hulk is one of the strongest beings in the MCU, while Cap couldn't even beat Iron Man on his own. Yes, it is a fictional world, but even fictional worlds need rules and limitations for the audience to believe in them. Only the worthy can lift Thor's hammer. Tony Stark is vulnerable without the suit, and even gods struggle against Hulk. Break those rules and the illusion falls apart. The fight with Hulk doesn't generate any emotions, just confusion. Why even set up fight between these two if the outcome is obvious? There is no scenario where Cap actually beats Hulk, and that's exactly why he ends up trying to reason with him instead. But it doesn't work like that. That kind of moment only works if there is a real emotional bond. In The Winter Soldier, it worked because we had seen how much those characters meant to each other. That connection made the scene hit. Here is completely different dynamic. These characters can barely tolerate one another, so using the same emotional device just feels awkward and out of place.
Backup's 5 minutes away.
No! Tell them wait.
I know what this is.
What?
This is a suicide pact.
And beyond the logic, look at the fight choreography. When Cap fighting background villains, it's okay, but the moment a capable opponent shows up, the fight becomes painfully dull. Here's what the fight with Winter Soldier looks like. Every move feels impressive. Now compare that to fight with Sidewinder. It's pretty clear, they made it a gunfight because the actor just couldn't handle high level of fight performance. That's not small difference. That's an entirely different level of choreography. Let's take a look at Stearns now.
Your dog certainly has a surprised look on his face.
Well, that's because you're looking at his butt.
His identity is hidden for the first half of the movie, clearly echoing Winter Soldier. But in that film, The audience already knew who Bucky was. When the reveal happened, it was a real wow moment. It changed everything. That's why it worked.
Bucky?
In Brave New World, the Stan's reveal just make you ask, who is that?
Isn't it obvious? I'm the hero.
Stearns first appeared in The Incredible Hulk, and that was 17 years ago. Some of the audience is younger than that movie. Without Google, it's almost impossible to understand why this reveal is supposed to matter.
He kept me here for 16 years, turning my mind to solving his problems.
Right.
What did he say?
On top of that, Stearns gets about 7 minutes of screen time. Just 7. And in those 7 minutes they don't even try to develop him. Most of his lines boil down to dramatic villain talk, like I am genius, fear me.
Maybe you're not as smart as you think you are.
I am, actually.
Now compare that to Zemo in Civil War. He also worked from the shadows, using other people to execute his plan. But he was fully developed. This scene, where he listens to the final voicemail from his dead wife, still sticks with me. His personal tragedy was clear. You understood him, you respected him, you even sympathized with him. Stearns isn't just underwritten. He contradicts his own concept. He is framed as a strategic mastermind who has invented Hulk-triggering pills, which by the way was never even established as possible. And this is the best plan he can come up with? Try to push Ross over the edge with phone bullying instead of just putting a bullet in his head?
I need a moment.
Now, I don't know what kind of pan-Pacific bullshit power play you're trying to pull here, but Asia Jack is my territory.
You bastard!
And I will rain down on a godly fucking firestorm upon you. I will massacre you! I will fuck you up!
America neutralized the rogue pilots. Japan's recalling their planes.
We already know Hulk can't be killed, even in human form.
In case you needed to kill me, but you can't. I know, I tried.
Then why overcomplicate it? He's got crowds of brainwashed people walking around, and he's already used them to stage of assassination attempt. So what's different now? And the funniest part? After it fails, he basically tries the same thing again.
President Ross, I miss our little visits.
Emotional damage!
That's not strategy. That's nonsense. The entire film revolves around his brilliant plan, but in reality it's a plan for the sake of having plan. And most importantly, the ending. Why does he surrender to Sam? There is no logic behind it. It's presented as some masterstroke, but it's changed absolutely nothing. Instead, we're shown a complete idiot and told he's genius.
They said he'd been infected with Bruce Banner's blood, but it didn't give him strength. What did it give him? A mind, capable of impossible calculations.
In the end, what we get is an action movie where everything is resolved by people just talking it out. The protagonist risks nothing. The antagonist is barely developed. And the rules of the universe don't seem to apply. And that's not even half of what could be criticized. Foggy said audience didn't accept the new Captain America. But this movie was doomed before it even came out. And it's not because of the actor. If they had made a strong sequel, or even better a solid prequel, no one would care who was holding the shield. The problem isn't even that they tried to echo Winter Soldier. If they had done it well, no one would complain. The real issue is that the quality dropped across the board. There isn't a single element in this film that reached the level of the earlier entries in the franchise. So what is next for Marvel? It is safe to say that bringing Evans back to the next Avengers probably won't change much. On the other hand, the return of the Russo brothers actually sounds promising. They were behind some of the most memorable films in the MCU, so bringing them back feels like a smart move. I want to believe Disney has learned from its mistakes and is ready to deliver something great again.